When you talk about a jury maybe being dazzled by him, they might have to search far and wide for somebody who has a neutral opinion, because the latest opinion polls show negative and even deeper negative approval ratings for these two.
Absolutely. I haven't got the figures in front of me now, but I think it was he had a minus 13 rating, and Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex, was minus 17. And I got the feeling, and I think others of your guests have alluded to it, that the Americans are slightly getting impatient with them. Nobody wants to hear somebody whining and moaning. I mean, you talk about whinging Poms. Well, I'm sympathetic to you to some degree, but nobody wants to hear whining and moaning. And I tell you what, people don't want. They don't want to hear people slagging off their own families, because of course, there are difficulties in every family. It would be extraordinary if there weren't. And there are disagreements. But you don't have a fist fight in the street about it. You settle it between yourselves. And I think wiser counsels ought to prevail here. But of course, at every turn, when there is a possibility of making peace, Harry looks around for a can of petrol to start the fire again. Because the King, King Charles III, actually has played a blinder on this matter so far. With regard to the coronation, which, Paul, I have to remind you, is only 40 days away, so maybe I'll be seeing you in London at that time, the King made it clear from the outset that his youngest son and his wife, Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex, were perfectly welcome to the coronation. Now, that left it to them to decide whether to accept or whether to say no. And of course, if they said no, it would look a little bit peevish and small-minded. But of course, if they said yes, it would leave them open to the accusation of hypocrisy, because they've been knocking 7 bells out of the royal family and almost everybody in it for the last couple of years. And if they suddenly turned up at the coronation, well, one people would say, well, what was that all about? I mean, if you can put up with coming to the coronation, why were you so disdainful about the king? And also, and this has hurt the king a lot, about the Queen Consort, Camilla. He doesn't like that because Harry is has some very hurtful things to say about Camilla in his book Spare.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, away from Harry and Meghan, a couple of other things here. Archie's profile disappeared from a royal website. I'm sure it's just a technical error.
That's extraordinary. I mean, I didn't know that. Interestingly, Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet, they were not or have not been invited to the coronation. Buckingham Palace is quite clever. They're making arrangements as if the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, Harry and Meghan, will come. But there has been no notification that they would be bringing their children. And actually, the coronation day is the 4th birthday of Prince Archie. So if you're asking me to guess, which you're not, but I will guess anyway, I guess that maybe Prince Harry will come to the coronation, but perhaps Meghan Markle will stay at home in California to celebrate their son's 4th birthday. Now, Prince Harry probably needs to be here anyway, because on the 9th of May, only 3 days after the coronation, another court case starts against another newspaper group, this time Mirror Group newspapers. And Harry is heavily involved in that. And he also is alleging that Mirror Group hacked his phone. And that, of course, is an illegal act. And if it can be proved, obviously there will be sanctions against that newspaper group too. So there's a lot going on in the coronation and, of course, in the courts of law and in the royal courts. What is quite interesting, and the king has been very clever here, because usually at a coronation, all royal princes there present have to kneel and swear an oath of loyalty, of fealty to the new king. Now, that is not going to happen this time. It's only going to be Prince William as the heir apparent. He will kneel and swear this oath of loyalty. But the other princes there, and that could be Harry if he's there, but it also includes Prince Andrew and Prince Edward and Prince Michael and so on. None of those will have to do that. So that avoids a certain embarrassment there. So it is quite clever how the king has played it, and we are now getting in the run up to the coronation. And of course, Buckingham Palace wants the focus to be solely on that, a great occasion involving everybody in the Commonwealth, all the countries, and all the people.